This is Desynced, an automation factory builder where you have to build modular automations and factories. I'm Orbital Potato. Let's jump into things. And we're in. And straight from the outset, I should point out that this video has been sponsored by the publisher Forklift Interactive. They want me to tell you all about the brand new update that has just dropped for the game. That is the Space Time Update. It's a couple of interesting things that I want to talk about as we go, but suffice to say, you can see the roadmap on screen right now. This is the latest update on the way to the 1.0 release. So, how does this game work? What is going on? Well, it's one of my favorite factory builders for a very good reason. This game is all about modules. The first thing that I want to do is get my command center established. This is probably the most important building, which we're just going to get down and get it out of the way. We also start with a couple of different sort of like little units over here. We have got a scout, which is grand, and we've got 2 engineers. These engineers, quite handily, come with laser mining tools on the top of them. We've also got ourselves a drop pod, which has got a couple of different buildings in and a couple of different components. So, this game may look complicated, but fundamentally it is all about these sockets, right? So we have internal sockets, that is indicated by the eye, and then we have got small sockets. And what you do is you put different components onto different sockets. So everything is entirely malleable and entirely modular, which means that we've got these engineers, which we can dispatch to go and mine the metal ore over there, and we'll get you to go and mine the crystal chunks. These are the 2 sort of fundamental resources in this game, and we need to make sure that we're extracting as many as we possibly can. The scout we are going to use for exploring, but first, we're actually going to do a little bit of building. We come with a few resources in this drop pod, and we can't actually do anything with this. This is a deployer. This unpacks into a one-time single-use building just to sort of help us go. I cannot deploy directly from a building. Everything has to be done through my my little robots over here. So we have added the deployer to the internal socket here, and we can actually click deploy. Let's go and deploy this building right over here. And then we will get to work. Oh, yes, we've also got 2 little runner robots which spawn when my command center is built. These are very, very basic units that are able to move resources around. You'll see, by the way, everybody has got an inventory, or every robot has got an inventory. And, oh, look at that. What happened just there is that we saw the ore from the engineer be moved over to this building over here, which has got a small component in, and this is a fabricator, and the fabricator has got a recipe, and the recipe is for metal bars, and that is transformation of ore into metal bars. It works just like a sort of furnace would or anything. But the point is that if we didn't want this to be a fabricator, if we wanted it to be something else, then we could absolutely make it something else. Now, we don't have any of the something else's unlocked at the moment, but as we go, we will unlock that. Now, how do we scale up production? Because we do need to scale up production. Ooh, okay. We've got a couple of different buildings that we can build sort of straight off the bat here. And in fact, I'm going to queue up a couple of constructions. These buildings will require 10 metal bars and 5 crystal shards, which are or crystal chunks, refined into crystal shards. That's the sort of 2 basic resources that we've got here. We're also going to need to assign a fabricator to each and every one of these buildings. We only have 1 single fabricator. I can just drag it onto the building, and hopefully a scout or a runner is going to go and pick it up, which is grand. You should be able to do that. There might be a little bit of an issue, and that issue allows me to talk about, very conveniently, the network. So, there is a sort of power network and a power grid that extends out with the command center. If I, for example, get you to move over here, then you will actually pick up, cancel the order on that. You will pick this up if I tell you to go manually, but otherwise, if I didn't, there we go, assign you over there. If I didn't assign you manually, you would not usually leave the confines of the power network. So this is effectively our operational range. The Scout is a sort of special unit because it has got a big old battery, and if we want to drive you out of the power network, you will see this battery will deplete. You can see now no longer in the power grid, starting to deplete, etc. Most of our operations will be within this area for now. The other thing that I want to do is I probably want to just get all of the resources removed from the drop pod, get them moved on into the command center. We've actually got a fabricator here. The fabricator comes with 2 empty sockets. We've got a small advanced turret, which I think I'm actually going to put on the scout here. And what we're going to do is we're going to assign the fabricator to the empty medium socket, because we can fit a small component into a medium socket. And we're going to start producing... more fabricators, actually. Yeah, let's make 10 fabricators. Sure, that seems like a very useful thing to do. We're going to need more fabricators for all of these buildings over here, and we're going to need to make sure that we get them all assigned as soon as we are up and running. I actually think we're probably going to build a whole bunch more production as we want to try and scale this as much as we possibly can. The important thing to note is that it all happens automatically. We don't need to... we don't need to necessarily do anything. We just need to make sure that everything has got a recipe assigned. And in fact, if I'm sensible about it... Okay, there we go. We've copy and pasted all of these different buildings. That's grand. Looking very good indeed. Okay, so what's next? We've got our basics down. We are building a whole bunch of... metal refiners over here, which is grand. What I would like to do is build the next best thing. This... Ooh, thank you. We've just hit a milestone. Buildings built. Excellent. I should probably note that we're not actually mining enough ore at the moment. You can see our resources up at the top here. We're not actually mining enough metal ore. That's fine. We'll deal with that as we go. But for now, let's see if we can try and move on to the next thing, which is the assembler. The assembler is going to take 10 crystal chunks and some metal plates. I don't actually have any metal plates at the moment. I do want to start production of metal plates. We're going to start building metal plates up here. Metal plates are simply... 2 metal bars pressed into a singular metal plate, and it should take us absolutely no time at all to get that all built. And I'm gonna build... You know what? I'm gonna build some more fabricators. We're gonna need more fabricators here. And then after we are done with that, we will work on building that medium assembler, which is going to hopefully fit into the medium socket over here. That's the plan anyway. Right, assembler acquired. Let's get it assigned to a medium socket, which is pretty darned cool that we can do that. There's a very important building that we need to build right now, and that is an uplink. Now, an uplink is effectively going to allow us to progress our research. I'm actually going to unequip the basic fabricator. The assembler can build everything that the fabricator can build, and I tell you what, we'll probably just, like, slam down another few... maybe not there, actually. Maybe here. Slam down a few more production facilities. Obviously, I know we don't have the metal ore mined required. We don't need to worry about that too much. The more we can get, the happier I will be. But for now, we are just going to build up the systems and solutions that are going to allow us to scale. I've built the uplink, or I've almost built the uplink, but we need some circuit boards. And we do have circuit boards. We get circuit boards. The one problem that we do have is that, of course, the circuit boards are currently in my drop pod. So I'm going to get all of these resources moved in there. The drop pod is going to despawn. And then we should be able to get the circuit boards moved into the command center, assembled into an uplink, and immediately added to the medium socket. So, technology. How does it work? Well, we simply need to move resources into into the uplink in order to start making progress on the tech. For example, basic structures is going to require 30 plates, so we're immediately going to start off with that. We've got basic signals as well. This is going to allow us to build different internal components. This is pretty cool. We've got different behaviors that we can unlock. We can unlock robotic production for different types of robots. A twin bot, that's pretty interesting. We've got power sort of sources. We've got a small power field. That, for example, will allow us to extend our network. But for now, let's quite simply start with basic structures, and we can put that into the machine. You can see it up here. We're going to start work on it. Now, let's chat about another feature of the command center. It is up here. It is a robot factory. This will allow us to build rudimentary robots, specifically 2 types of robots. We've got a worker bot and we got a runner bot. The runner bots are the types of robots that move things from, building to building. and they're great. The worker bots, however, are more useful than that because they will allow us to hopefully conduct a little bit of extra mining. So let's get 5 additional worker bots added. We'll also start the process of building 5 mining lasers. These mining lasers are going to do exactly what you would imagine they do. You equip them onto the top of robots, and suddenly you're able to mine stuff. Very, very useful indeed. Oh, I need to get fabricators over here, don't I? Well, I've got 1 spare fabricator. We'll throw that on there, and then throw in some more metal, I guess. Yeah, that's fine. Right. Ooh, our first worker bot has arrived. Amazing. Any sign of the miners yet? No, we're working on it. I'm not worried about it, though. We'll get there. Okay, first miner made. Get it equipped onto the worker bot. Get the worker bot immediately building and extracting the metal ore so that we can increase our supplies just a little bit. Second one, come online. Beautiful. Let's get you mining. Also connect you to the grid. Why the heck not? And let's go. Okay, research is looking good. Very, very happy with how this is all coming together here. Alrighty, looking good. I've added all of my mining machinery to my workers. That's all great. I've also built a few additional runner bots. Oh, just in time. Basic structures is complete. Let's start work on basic power, I think, because we're going to need more power in just a minute. Okay, right. So the additional, ooh, very interesting. The additional research that we have got will allow me to build some medium buildings, which is very interesting indeed. We've got a defense block over here, which, for example, if I build it right over here, it's going to cost me 10 reinforced plate. Ah, we haven't actually started making reinforced plate. At the moment, we're only making regular plate. If I make reinforced plate, it is 2 bars and 1 plate. Let's make 20 of them. And actually, maybe I want to abort construction of that, because, I mean, we've got the defense block. That has 1 medium socket and 1 internal socket in. Whereas if I build this, the 2x1, it's 1 medium and 1 small. Very interesting indeed. Yeah, let's build one of those bad boys right over there. I'm also probably going to need some more assemblers, as assemblers are the best production unit that we have at the moment. So let's get that all built and let's get that all done, and we will get set up for the next arrival of the next building. Okay, something a little bit interesting to note is happening here. These workers are stuck with 20 metal ore just left in their inventory. Why is that happening? I'll tell you why that's happening. Because the workers don't actually come connected to the logistics network. That is the network that tells them exactly where they need to deliver their resources to, or if, you know, runner bots should connect up to them. So occasionally we will have to sort of toggle that on. There are reasons why you might want to toggle it off. We'll get to that in a little bit. But for now, you know, we want everything to be connected up because we want to make sure that we are using all of these resources, and that is pretty much what I intend to do. Okay, power. Basic power is done. Basic power unlocks something that is quite interesting indeed. What I'm going to do in the first instance, I'm actually going to build 3 brand new buildings over here. Some plates, some circuits. Actually, that's kind of stupid, Potato. I should abort construction of that. For the very simple reason that there are 2 different types of regular building. 2 circuits and 15 plates. It's the same building, or should I say it's the... It's not the same building. It's a slightly better building. It is still in a 1x1 block. This has 2 sockets as opposed to 1. Maybe I do want this building actually, as opposed to just the single socket. Okay, I take it back. We'll build some circuit boards in order to make this happen. But it will take some plates. Let's cancel you for now. Let's make an assembler, just a single assembler. Because I've got this medium building over here, or it's a building which has a medium socket, and we can assign something over there. So I'll build a secondary assembler, we'll get it assigned over here, and we'll probably start manufacturing circuit boards, I would imagine, in this vicinity. We've also got a space for a small fabricator, so we'll throw a small fabricator on top as well. Why the heck not? You need to make circuit boards. Circuit boards are 5 shards and 3 plates. Easy peasy. Let's get you going on that. And to be fair, with the small fabricator, which we're going to assign over here, we can probably just make the plates, I guess. Yeah, why not? Make the plates so we can have a totally sort of like local system over there. Very nice indeed. Anything else that I want to make over here for now? Some lights. Could do. Doesn't really matter. So let's not bother. I'll maybe just make an extra couple of circuits over here just to sort of speed up production for these buildings over here. Okay, so just in the nick of time, I wanted to talk about power. Power works as you might imagine. I'm going to pause here just for a second. We produce 500 power from the command center. It's actually this thing over here. And in fact, you can see exactly where the sort of power outline is. It's the same area as the network. However, we need to be able to produce more power than we currently are because there is a whole bunch of different robots and buildings that are now consuming it. The assemblers, the fabricators, everything consumes power, and of course, we can only produce up to 500. So what are we going to do? Well, we're going to build a brand new... cancel that. We're going to build a brand new building, or a brand new component to fit onto a building, I should say. That is the crystal power. The crystal power... The crystal power component. And let's build 6 of them, because quite frankly, I'm going to squeeze them in over here, and so we might as well get that done. These crystal power components can be slotted into a building, and then once they are delivered to a building, as will happen in just a second, of course everything is running very, very slowly because we don't have any power, as it is connected to the building, and as it is supplied with crystals, as it is about to be done, we should, hopefully, be able to produce ourselves a little bit more power. Each one of these bad boys is going to produce up to 150 power, only as required, which is great. There we go. Immediately, we are looking good. I should also say there is a battery. There's a battery, a high-grade capacitor here. We've burnt through all of our power, but we're going to start to replenish that as soon as we have just a little bit more juice in the tank, and it looks like all of my crystal power generators are ready to rock and roll. Let's get them all assigned over there. Let's get them all filled with crystals, and let's start pumping out the power. As soon as we start to see stored power accumulate in the battery in the base, then you will know that things are fixed. Amazing. Look at that. Perfect. Everything is back to normal. Everything is looking grand. Okay, I'm going to scale up production, and I'm also going to select some new research. I think we will select basic robotics. We need 20 reinforced plates and 10 crystal chunks. Easy peasy. And we'll make some progress with this because the basic robotics research is very interesting indeed. Hey, look at that. Basic robotics is built. Very, very nice indeed. Let's press on. Robotics production? I think we'll do robotics production. It's going to give me something to aim for. We're going to need to produce energized plates, which are made in a robotics assembler, consuming stuff that we already have. Great. Silicon, however, is going to be a little bit more challenging. Let's see what we can try and do about that. So I've built some more buildings. These buildings are going to assemble reinforced plates. Great. Silicon is a little bit harder to come by because I don't believe that there is any of it around. And in fact, that is actually, for very good reason. We can only find it on these plateaus. Before we do that, however, I think that I want to do a little bit of base expansion. We have some of these runners that are occasionally running out of power, mostly because they're running out of range and they're trying to sort of take a short journey around the side here. What I am going to do is build a building, just a cheap one, right over there, and then we're actually going to build... It is a small power field, very simple sort of bit of construction, but effectively what this is going to allow me to do is extend the range of my power field and also my logistics network. There we go. Looking pretty darn good. Let's get you slotted into the right place there. I'm waiting. Just in a second. Here you come. Boom. Look at that. So now everything should be fine. Everything should be powered. I'm actually acutely aware that I might be running out of space. So let's copy and paste. Build there, I think. Yeah. Copy and paste that just so that we've got a little bit of future-proof stuff to future-proof in the future. Right, disconnect you from the logistics network, and let's take this scout on a little bit of an explore. So, this is where we start to get into the realms of, ooh, dare I suggest, the bad guys. There's some silica sand over here, which is going to be totally fine for us, but up here on these plateaus, we are expected to find some enemies, and also some specific issues, like a small bot glitch, which is powered down. Now, I'm going to make the very questionable decision of driving right into this so that I can start talking about research and viruses and all of the different tech trees. So, I've talked about basic tech. Starter tech, that's what we come with. Basic, this is what we're sort of working through at the moment. But there's actually a bunch of different tech trees. One is the virus research tech tree, and in order to progress this one, we need to make infected circuit boards, which I can't actually make at the moment, but we probably will be able to make in a bit. We have got a scout over here. The scout is now infected, which is a little bit less than ideal, and so what we want to do is we want to try and cure that infection before we reintegrate it back onto the logistics network. So we're going to have to undertake a little bit of a rescue mission, dare I say. But that's okay, because we have the components that are required, or we have the recipes required for the components. This is virus protection. We need to make an energized block, or whatever the heck that thing is, the thing that we need for research as well. But we also need 5 blight stone. I think, or blight crystal chunk. Yeah, these energized plates, these are fairly easy to make. They're just made in another one of these buildings. I should probably just set up the production. But the blight crystal chunk, we're going to have to actually go and find, which we can do in just a little bit after I get my production of energized plates set up. Alright, so with a scout down, we have a limited number of options with regards to what we can do. Of course, we can move it and we could still scout around, but for the sake of argument, let's say that we want to do something a little bit different. I've produced a dashbot, which is kind of like a robot bot, except the fact that it is slightly faster and slightly more capable. It's got 2 slots in its inventory as opposed to the worker, which has just got 1. Where the heck did you go, Dashbot? There you are. You're up here. Right, so what I'm thinking is I think we're going to make this Dashbot into a sort of rudimentary scout, which means that we're going to equip it with a scout radar and also one of these. This is a small turret. This is a basic sort of defensive structure. I'm also going to disconnect you from the network, which is grand. And then our dashbot is hopefully going to do a little bit of exploring. We do need to make sure that you're a little bit more charged up, which will require me to get a little bit more power, because at the moment we're quite literally at our sort of power limit. Yeah, a little bit more power production, please, which I need to queue up a few more of these things. A little bit more power production, and then we'll set off on our little scouting adventure to see if we can try and find that blight crystal. Okay, I have come across some of this blight crystal chunk. There's also some laterite ore, apparently. It's a little bit of a ways away from the base, but I actually think we will be just fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to requisition one of these workers, get you disconnected from the network here, hand off your resources, and just come across and mine this blight crystal chunk. I should also point out that there are things in the world that we can explore and investigate. So, for example, oh, look at this. We were able to come across 4 metal bars and 4 wires. That's pretty good. I will take them all. There's a lot of sort of like structures like that just exist, and some of them are going to be absolutely essential, not necessarily for this sort of stage of research, but definitely for the next one. Nothing really too much to write home about there, but that's fine. Right, we're still trying to rescue our scout. I also need to make a sort of like little pathway up to the up to this area, ideally so that it is sort of within the network. In fact, increase the number of sort of transmitters that we will get, and let's build another building. Ooh, look at that. The blight seems to be corrupting the planet. Excellent. Yes, we have got a brand new tech tree to experiment with. I'm going to get to that in just a second. Let me finish building this this area over here. How far will we get out with that? Not too bad. Not too bad. And let's do one more as far as we can. Yeah, that's fine. How are we doing? How are we doing blight mining? So we need 10. We need 10 blight chunks. That's what we need in order for me to be perfectly happy. We need this to finish building, and then we need to transfer one of the small power fields right over here. And then I think we'll build some more dashbots. Dashbots can only be built in the robotics assembly. They can't be built in the bot factory. That is only sort of the basic starter bots, and that's fine. It just means that we need to be sort of a little bit more careful about how we move resources around and who we assign to where. Let's get 3 mining robots, 3 mining modules components started and finished, and we will assign these to the dashbots. Excellent. And the last one is built. Beautiful. Let's get the dashbots moved out over here. Where's the other one? Are you in there? Brilliant. Okay. And then we will start production on the silica sand. So, I think this should be within network range, so I don't think that we should have any sort of issues retrieving all of the resources that we need. I've also sort of pre-prepared this building area with 2 small fabricators on each building, because we're going to need them in order to make the silicon, which is very, very sort of simple. It's just input silica sand, output silicon. Amazing. Brilliant. Brilliant. And brilliant. And we should be able to get to work pretty much immediately on that. Okay, how's my blight looking? Blight's looking not too bad. We are basically out of power, which is very unfortunate. I kind of overstayed my welcome there. Yeah, you are going to get home, but you are going to get home very, very slowly. However, we've got enough blight crystal chunks in order to make a go of making the virus protection, which is quite nice indeed. We're going to make 2 of them. For reasons which will become eminently clear and obvious in about 13 microseconds. Let's do that. Where the heck did my scout go? Or my self-built scout? I mean, my original scout's over here. Where did my proper scout go? I've no idea. Somewhere, but not somewhere that I'm acutely aware that they have decided to go to. You're over here. You're still over here. That's fine. You're also out of juice. Let's get you back home to the base, into the power grid as well, and then we'll equip you for the adventure ahead, which is quite exciting. Okay, you just need to get back into range. You need to limp back into the range of the network. Also, I'm noticing that our crystal chunks are scandalously low. I almost wonder if we maybe need a few more engineers or a few more robots doing crystal chunk extraction. Yeah. Get you on extraction over there, please. That's good. Blight is back in fashion, and it looks like the blight that is required has already been moved into the command center, which is great. And we're also going to have the scout come in here, and we're going to unload all of the resources in the command center, because what the heck, why not? Okay, so jumping back into the research menu, I've already talked about the virus discovery. I've talked about the blight research. Something that is brand new in this update, the introduction of the humanity tech tree with human discovery. I don't know if we're going to be able to get to it, but you can now discover humans, and they've got their own tech tree, which is pretty darn cool. There's a whole bunch of buildings and units that come with it as well. Very, very interested. Nice. Have we got our dashbot back? Yes, we do. And you know what? It's time to load up my dashbot with the 2 modules of virus protection, making sure one is equipped. Let's head on over. Let's head on over and see if we can transfer the virus protection module to the scout and get the scout, hopefully, cleaned up of the virus, which is quite nice. Are you guys on the grid network? No, you're not. So you've just been wasting time and doing nothing. Hey, look at that. The scout now has the virus protection component, which is great. And that means that we are officially... There we go. Get you powered up. You shouldn't have any issues. There we go. And let's get you back in. Nice. Not a bad job, if I do indeed say so myself. A grand rescue mission, and we're able to reconnect with the network without getting super duper infected. What I am interested in doing, though, whilst we are waiting for silicon to be manufactured and hopefully robotics production researched, we are making progress, which is great. It's just going to take 200 seconds per step, which is fine. That's great. What I want to do is I want to go and see if we can try and do some more discovering and maybe see if we can try and find some enemies along the way. See if we can maybe try and do a little bit of exploration of the world. I'm also going to take with me some of these chips, the computer chips or the circuit boards even, and we'll see if we can try and explore and find some bad guys and maybe find some discoveries. Okay, there's a little discovery over here. It's an explorable robot. Let us view the console. Oh my lordy. Okay, so occasionally we will come across these big old sort of puzzles. I mean, this is a very, very large puzzle, which I'm going to solve theoretically quite quickly, but you never know. Could take me a little second. Boom, done. Easy peasy. What did we get? Oh, we got a medium turret. I'm absolutely interested in taking that. We can also repair this. If we transfer the item, the required item, we will get even more stuff, which is amazing. Now, what's really important is these robotics data cubes. We don't need this for the current level of research, but for the next level of research, which is the gateway technology, which is what's going to enable the access to other technology, we need 5 of these robotic data cubes. So yeah, absolutely happy to nab that. We've also got a behavior component, which is fine. And we've got a deployer, which is a one-time use for a specific type of building. I mean, I'll take that. I'll drop off this. I'll take that. The behavior component isn't super useful, but it is at least quite interesting nonetheless. Okay, let's continue our exploration of the world, see if we can try and find some enemies, because I want to show them off as well. Okay, robotics production is complete. That's unlocked a twin bot and a cub, which is a bot that effectively has a medium socket on it. Also, there's a human explorer over here. Not quite sure what this is. Let's go and see if we can try and explore that, and we will maybe do some additional discoveries in just a second. Yeah, not sure what this is. Human explorer. Okay. That's the medium turret. We don't need to worry about that. Right, gateway tech is pretty easy. We've already got the energized plate production. The wire is produced in a fabricator, and it's just plates and silica sand. We actually have production for that already. So I think what we'll do is we'll just copy and paste these buildings over there. We'll build the fabricators all... Well, we'll build 10 of them. That's fine. And then we just throw some different recipes onto the buildings, and that should take no time at all, and we will start producing wire just like that. Actually, slight problem. Look at this. Because the building only has 2 resource slots, we can't actually make the wire because it's got nowhere to go. How interesting is that? We're actually going to need a slightly more sophisticated building in order to make that happen. For example, you would be fine if I got a bigger building. Yeah, you know what? Sure, we'll make that building right there, and we will start producing our wires over here. We could also, to be fair, swap in a fabricator here and just start making them sort of in bulk in the command center. There's no real reason that we can't do that. Let's do 1 and 2 over here. Let's start making you. And as soon as we get the second fabricator, we'll start making you. Perfect. Looking good. We still have got a whole bunch of Blightstone on us. You're part of the network, and I think I'm probably going to start getting you to manufacture crystal chunks after you are done with... You're done with that. The Dashbot, yeah, I mean, we'll take you on another little journey. I want to get the scout. I really want to come across some enemies. I also really want to figure out what this human explorer is. Of course, all we need to do is supply 10 metal bars, 10 metal plates, and 10 crystal chunks, And then we should be able to get it up and running again, or at least partially up and running. Let's deploy this building, which we have on us. I don't actually know what's in it, but we'll get that built. We'll also move the medium turrets over into there, which is grand. What the heck is this? Oh my lordy, this is a 2x2 building with 2 medium sockets. This thing's huge. Look at that. Okay, so we could put, like, loads of assemblers on there if we wanted to. I don't particularly want to do that, but, you know, we absolutely could. Right, let's take some... What did I say I needed for this? I think it was 10, 10, and 10. So let's get into the scouts. We'll preload the resources that we need. We'll take 20, 20, and 10 into the scout. Thank you. Great. Once we've got all of that, let's head back out and see the human explorer. I am, of course, still on the hunt for enemies, so whilst you are going to go and do that, and hopefully not get destroyed by any of the viruses or any of the nonsense, I really do want to try and find some... I want to try and find some baddies, because baddies will be useful. I mean, they're scary, but they are going to be useful for us. We're definitely going to need them. Yeah, you're going to get to the human explorer in just a second, which is very nice indeed. Let's get you set up and unloaded. Okay, you are in. Find and interact with a human research lab. Okay, we've got intel from the human explorer. Where the heck is that gonna be? Oh my lordy, it's actually like it's a movable thing. Ooh, interesting. Interesting indeed. So we need to find this research lab, and we need to collect, apparently, anomaly particles. That's fine. We need to collect these anomaly particles from the blight, apparently. Okay. We'll see what we can do with that. I have no idea where we're going to find this this human lab, but that's pretty cool nonetheless. Okay. The human story, I think, has officially begun. Oh, I've accidentally stumbled across some enemies. These are trilobites over here, and they... rather difficult to see as I'm taking a little bit of damage. They will drop some different resources. It looks like they've dropped some sort of silica sand over there. But I do believe that they can drop the required component for this thing over. Not that thing. I've unequipped my. I've unequipped my big fabricator. Yeah, so I think they're going to drop these trilobite, these bug chitins, silica reinforced shell of bugs. So there we go. We can also make them in the refinery, but yeah, I think they do occasionally drop them. Either way, let's keep having a little look around, see if we can try and find anything. This human explorer, see what's happening. Aha, and gateway technology has been researched. Nice. Okay, I want to have a little look around for the lab, see if there is anything else that we can find. We are going to have to sort of progress to the next level of research. We've actually unlocked the... so we're onto advanced now. So there is that to sort of consider. But that's kind of cool. We don't necessarily need to do that right now. Let's keep exploring. Uh-oh. I've accidentally explored a little bit too close to the sun, and it looks like I am going to... I mean, a miner base? Abandoned? I mean, very interesting. But very unfortunately, I think my scout may just be cream cracker tier. Yeah, that's very unfortunate. I mean, that's fine. What can I say? That's the risk of... That's the risk of exploring. We can always sort of outfit another robot to do some exploring. Oh, you're actually out of juice. Okay, that's fine. We'll keep exploring. There's some obsidian in this sort of like anomaly type area. I'm gonna... Oh! Look at you! Ooh! Don't know what's happening here, but it's kind of interesting. There's definitely some funky stuff happening. I mean, we are in the sort of blight. We're in the anomaly zone. Still not sure what's happening with regards to the the human lab. Oh my giddy ants. Very, very interesting indeed. Okay, so still no idea where the lab actually is, but frankly, very, very cool. Anyway, ladies and gents, we are going to ramp things up right about now. We have barely scratched the surface over the course of this episode. However, I hope that what I have done is given you a taste of what is new, what is to come, what's interesting, and what I frankly absolutely adore about this game. This is one of my most favorite automation factory builders. It's brilliant. Anyway, thank you very much to the sponsor of the video, Forklift Interactive. You can check out the game linked down in the description below. Let me know what you think. I absolutely adore this game. Anyway, folks, thanks ever so much for watching. I'll catch you next time. Bye.